How can you level up in your career? By becoming a more well-rounded, authentic version of yourself first. And that's the level of connection that we need to see in our men today. Many are feeling lost, and I completely understand why. They are so disconnected, isolating themselves from the world because they don't know where to reach out. That's what I want to start here. You're listening to Give Yourself Some Leeway with me, your host, Eugene Lee. Over the last 5 years, through my burnout experience, podcasting, and coaching, I have learned a lot about burnout recovery as a high achiever. What to do, what not to do, and the common mistakes that many people, like myself, make along the way. This podcast is dedicated to help you break the burnout cycle. Optimize your life for peak performance when you need it most, and rediscovering how to truly enjoy living again. That's the key to your growth and success. It seems like a recurring theme here in the podcast, but whenever I receive backlash or an objection to something that I want to bring into reality. I mean, when I first started the podcast here, it received a lot of deflection and objection. People saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do this. It's career suicide for you to speak openly about your mental health in the workplace." And if anything, it fueled me to say, no, if this is causing people so much discomfort to talk about their mental health struggles in the workplace, how they feel they should be treated, and how we can change workplace culture. How can we overcome overwhelm, stress, and burnout in the workplace in order to work to our full potential, to rediscover the energy and joy in our lives while working a job that we care about without getting overwhelmed? Why is that so uncomfortable? How can we not talk about these things that are of utmost importance in our lives? And so too, I want to start a men's group, a men's mentoring and support group here in Basel in Switzerland, because I can't find anything here remotely like a men's group. And when I suggested it, I was like, well, I can't find one, so I want to start one. I was met with the objection, why do you want to start a men's group? What about a women's group? Why can't it be a mixed group? So I wanted to explain the importance of why men need a gender specific area to discuss support and mentoring. We have women only groups here, women only support groups, but no men support groups. So I want to discuss the importance of why we need men's support group wherever you are in the world. So one thing is that being vulnerable and open, it's difficult to do this in the mixed gender space. Just like we have women's support groups, it can be difficult to express some emotions in the presence of a man. And there are male only experiences that they would feel uncomfortable expressing in front of a woman. There might be male health issues or insecurities. It could be the first time as a father and they have vulnerabilities that they're not comfortable sharing with their partner. So it can be difficult to share these in a mixed gender space. But coming from a place of connection and compassion with other men, that's a space that people need to feel safe and supported. And that's something that I want to encourage, that I want to initiate here in Basel. There's also seeing things through a male lens brings a level of understanding that can be difficult in a mixed environment. So having a group of men to support you through hardships and having that level of accountability also, that's something that we need to foster, that we need to be able to reach out as a community and say, there's a community of men here who want to support you through your hardships. We're here for each other. We're coming from a place of connection and compassion and courage, having the courage to speak up about these things that not many people are willing to speak up about. There's also different communication patterns or different logic patterns between men and women. Women speak a lot more from an emotional level. They're much more in touch with their emotions than men tend to be. Because even I did not know how to regulate my emotions for years. About 5 years ago, I wasn't even depressed when I burnt out. I didn't know how to feel. I was so numb. I had downregulated my emotions so much. I didn't know how I was feeling. I was like, I don't know what feeling I have. It just felt numb. And when I was trying to explain that to my partner, they were like, "Oh, well, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? Why are you not angry? Why are you not sad? Are you not happy?" And it was a state of, I have downregulated my emotions so much, I don't really know how I'm feeling. And that was the logical way of me putting that. And it's something that can cause frustration when people don't understand how the other person's thought pattern works. That's why having a men specific group where people can understand your thought pattern and the logic, the way that you're perceiving a situation can help you to regulate what's really happening, taking a step back and broadening that perspective, being able to speak it out with someone who has a similar thought pattern and coming to a solution or a possible way of moving forward rather than clashing heads with someone who cannot see where you're coming from. It's important to build these connections between men. It's been long recognized that having women support groups is a valuable safe space for women. And I highly encourage it. If there's no women's support group in your area, then I mean, initiate one or at least suggest that you should start one in your area. We need women support groups. We need men support groups so that people have a safe space to go to. It also gives men an opportunity when they feel lost and they feel stuck in a rut. You need to find a space where you can say, okay, there's an opportunity for growth and development in my community. If you need mentorship, if you need leadership development, if you want to level up in your personal health, in your health, your wealth, your career, your relationships, your happiness, if you don't know how to embrace happiness, if you need coaching on that, then a men's group is a great place for you to find like minded people who may be a level higher than you in life, who can provide mentorship on how you can get to the next level, how to expand your network with like minded people or people who you strive to be, who influence you, who inspire you, to get yourself around like minded individuals. And it's about creating a safe space of growth and development without it coming back to gambling or drinking or destructive habits or sports all the time. I was never into sports. There was such a toxic mentality around sports growing up. There was a certain pride in sports, especially in GAA in Ireland, that you had to be all or nothing. If you couldn't just enjoy the sport and see it as a team, it's like, no, if you don't show up to practice every week, you're not part of our community. If you don't sit on the bench for 40 out of 50 games and never play, and it's like, oh, but you're supposed to keep the bench warm. That's where you were while the star players. That was never my scene. I was like, I could spend so much more time engaging more in theater, in music, in other avenues of life. And I was seen as a black sheep in the community for not taking part in sport. It's like, oh, well, you're young, fit, and able. You should be playing sport. You should be playing for your community. There was such toxic mentality around sports. And I feel that a lot of people take that into the only way that I can embrace other men is through sport. The only other way that I can embrace men is through going down to the pub and drinking. And that's why drinking culture is so strong in Ireland. It was like the only outlet for men to actually connect. And they associate drinking and being able to have an outlet to speak about their emotions around getting 6 or 7 pints in. And that it's a toxic way of connecting with others. You don't need to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs in order to experience your emotions on a deeper level or to regulate your emotions. You're not regulating your emotions if you're under the influence of drugs and alcohol. You need to do it from a grounded, sober place to be fully aware of where your emotions are at, that they're not altered, they're not in an altered state because of alcohol. So it's not about putting yourself in a state where you need to alter your brain chemistry by taking alcohol or drugs, or people are only going to like me if I'm good at the sport. They're only going to respect me if I'm good at the sport. No, we need to create a community that accepts people openly and with all their vulnerabilities, to say, yes, we see where you're at and you're not broken. This is how you can move forward. This is the community that you need to form connection with others and learn how to grow and develop in all areas of your life moving forward, so that you can show up better for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for all your relationships, for your career. How can you level up in your career? By becoming a more well-rounded, authentic version of yourself first. And that's the level of connection that we need to see in our men today. Many are feeling lost, and I completely understand why. They are so disconnected, isolating themselves from the world because they don't know where to reach out. That's what I want to start here. That's what I want to start here in Basel, because this is where I am at the moment. And if there's nothing in my community, I want to create it in my community. I want to put down the first foundation stone. If you want to reach out and discuss how you can start a men's group in your area, or if you're in the Basel or surrounding area of Switzerland and you would be interested in joining the first Basel men's support group meeting here, I have an application in the link below. Leave me a message or reach out to me at giveyourselfsomeleeway.com or on Instagram at eugene.leeway. Let me know. If you're feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, stuck in a rut, or running in circles all the time, trust me, I've been there too. The pursuit for peak performance, especially as a high achiever, is not about pushing harder all the time. It's about learning to work smarter, find balance, and reignite that spark that got you started in the first place. That's why I developed the Burnout Recovery Blueprint. Join me for 12 weeks to overcome your burnout. Let's break the burnout cycle and restore your vitality. Develop sustainable habits proven for peak performance when you need it most. Rediscover the meaning and purpose in the work that you do. And boost your productivity and impact without sacrificing your health. If you're ready to invest in your personal growth and success, let's break the burnout cycle together. Let's work together. Let's have that call. The link is in the show notes. Until next week, take care.